Melissa.
So we're just going to start with a little bit of client information, just basic stuff. So what is your age?
I'm 21.
21, okay. And your date of birth?
January 18th, 1998.
Right. And what is your marital status?
I am not married. I've never been married. I haven't really ever dated anyone.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And your living situation, do you live alone or do you live with someone?
I live in my parents' old castle. I have my own room. I don't really live, quote, alone. I have other workers that live there. My sister lives there too.
Okay, so you're not alone, you're with like your family, your sister?
Right.
Okay. Okay, and a little bit of just history. Where were you born and did you grow up in the same place that you were born?
Yeah, so I was born in Arendelle. I grew up in Arendelle. My mother and father raised me, but they died 3 years ago, so they haven't been with me since. We had a great relationship growing up, me and my mother and father. They were really good parents, and they raised me and my sister really well, I think.
Good. So do you just have one sister?
Just one
And
sister.
you don't have any other siblings?
Yeah, just one, just Anna, and she's 18.
Cool. So you guys grew up pretty close in age, only 3 years. So,
Yeah.
So are you guys close, or like what was your relationship like?
So me and Anna, we're really close when we were little. We always had a lot of fun playing. I have had this power since birth where I can manipulate snow and ice, and so I would always make her ice sculptures and winter wonderlands, and we would always play in them. And then this all stopped when I was 8 and she was 5. I caused an accident where a piece of ice hit Anna in the head and in her heart, and she had to be revived, and I just felt so bad about it that I can't stand to be around her. It just makes me feel so bad about myself. I usually just stay in my room now, and I don't really talk to Anna, even if she knocks on my door and asks to come out and play. I'm afraid that I might hurt her again.
That's definitely understandable. So you said that she doesn't resent you for that. She still like tries to have a relationship with you and stuff,
Right.
but you just feel very bad.
Right.
Okay. And how would you compare yourself with Anna?
I would say that we're pretty different. We were more alike when we were little, but now we're pretty different. She's not as serious and grounded as I am. That's why I think that I would be the better position for the queen. I've always had this special power, but Anna has always been a lot happier and more outgoing than I am. But she definitely has more confidence than I do, but she's not as grounded.
And with that, you said you have the power. Does she have any powers?
She doesn't.
She doesn't, so that's just you. Okay.
Right.
And you don't have children. I know you weren't married, but...
Right, I don't have kids.
Okay, now we're just going to get into a little bit of your educational history. So schooling, what is the highest grade that you've completed?
So I completed 12th grade. I was homeschooled by my parents.
Okay. And did you enjoy school? I know you were homeschooled, so that might have been cool since you had a great relationship with them.
Right, I actually really enjoyed school. It was kind of lonely at times because I was homeschooled. So I never really had the chance to make friends outside of the castle. And I never had that chance of like a normal educational experience, but my grades were really good. I got a lot of like high A's, and I think I was a good student because I was always in my room alone and I had a lot of time to focus on my studies.
So you focused on your grades, really good. So you didn't fail a grade because you had great grades.
Right.
And I know you were homeschooled again, but you never had any trouble with your behavior, like you were always on task and things like that?
Right.
Perfect. So your employment history, can you just tell me a little bit about your first job and how long you had it, and then just kind of any other jobs that you've had?
Right. So I've never had a job, but I will be very soon the queen of Arendelle. So I would say that's kind of like my current job.
Yes.
But prior to this, I haven't ever. So, yeah, I haven't had it long, or I am about to have it. So.
Yeah, but I guess it takes a lot of preparation. And
Right,
that'll
right.
be like a really big part of your life.
Exactly.
So that's really cool. So since you haven't really had a job besides this job, would you say, like handling your money and things like that, do you handle that? Do you have any issues with that? How does that work?
Currently, I do handle my personal finances, and I also handle a lot of Arendelle's finances, or I will. And since that's such a big responsibility, I would say that I'm pretty good at it.
Yes.
I would say that other people might think I'm kind of cold and standoffish, but that's usually because I'm just trying to get the job done.
Yeah, and you take that very seriously, so that's good.
Right.
You haven't served in the military, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now this is just a little bit of medical history. So are you aware of any complications that you had during birth?
No complications, but I know that I was born with these powers. They didn't come years later. So yeah,
So you were born with those
I was
powers.
born with the creating stone ice and control over temperatures.
Could you do those things like starting when you were born? Like I know you had the power, but were you able to kind of control them, like, or would you just kind of randomly?
I wasn't very good at controlling them when I was younger, and that's partially the reason why the accident happened with Anna. Since then, it's gotten better, but still I feel when my emotions are out of control that so are my powers.
Okay,
It's
so
hard.
they kind of have a relation.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And did you crawl and walk and talk when you were supposed to? So like development was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Have you ever suffered from a head injury or any loss of consciousness?
I haven't.
Are you currently being treated for any physical illnesses or injuries or anything like that? Okay. So now we're going to get a little bit into abuse history and things like that, substance
Okay.
use. Have you ever been physically, sexually, or emotionally abused at all?
I haven't. No, I had a really good relationship. Yeah.
And substance use, are there any things that you've struggled with in the past or currently, alcohol or smoking or anything like that?
No, I don't really drink. The only time I would drink is at maybe a state function in the castle, but I'm not really a drinker. I
So
don't-
it'd be more social.
Yeah, more social at big events, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any current charges or any past criminal records or anything like that?
I don't.
Okay, and next is mental health history. So this will be a big part. Do you have a family history of mental illness that you know of?
I don't have a family history, no.
Okay. And how would you describe your mood generally, like day by day?
So I would say that my mood is typically very down. I try and hide myself away in my room out of fear of hurting those that I'm close to. I also try to hide and conceal my emotions and powers, just so that they won't be used against anyone. Like I said, they get out of control when my emotions get out of control. And this is kind of a hard thing for me to do. It takes a lot of extra effort that sometimes puts me in more of a depressive mood, kind of, I would say.
So would you say whenever you're out doing your duties or preparing to become the queen, is that is your mood still down even though that's something you're very passionate about? Do you kind of mask it? And
I would say